Hello to all the LAAPA parents and students. I'm reaching you here with three lovely Teresian sisters. We are in Uvalde, Texas. I have been here, by the way, this is Wanda Cullen, and I've been here for the last 4 days and riding around with the sisters and sort of living the lives that they live and finding out how they spend their days, and it's really been marvelous experience. And so what we would like to do is just chat a little bit about the things that they do, the things that we have seen, and we're going to share some photos and some videos with you. These sisters live in Uvalde and a little town called Batesville, which is about 30 minutes?
Yes, 30 minutes.
About 30 minutes away from here. Is it south of here, sister?
South.
South of here, close to the...
Yes, close to the border.
Close to the Mexican border. A very poor town. Just unbelievable situations that they deal with in lots of areas. And this is the place that we support with our Christmas concert in terms of admissions and cash and donations of toys. So I wanted to take some time to come down here and just really bring to you the experience of how they live and what they're doing for these people and how you and your families are helping them. On the right of the screen here is Sister Dolores. Sitting next to her is Sister Angeles, and sitting next to her is Sister Hortensia. And they all contribute to different parts of the ministry here. And so we're just going to talk a little bit about it, and hopefully at the same time, and when we're finished, we'll show you some actual footage of some of the families, their children, their homes, and things of that nature. So, Sister Dolores, if you don't mind starting, just tell me a little bit about when this all started and, how it began. And
we started working, I think the Teresian community started working in Batesville. I think it was around 1985, 1986, when Sister Carmen B. went to visit, and she found out that the religious education was really very minimal at that time. And she wanted to do something. And then she felt like maybe in the summer the Teresians could come and make it a mission experience. So since 1985, we've been very involved in Batesville. 6 years ago, Father Anthony, our pastor from Batesville in the prior, asked for a Teresian. I was blessed to have been asked to work in this ministry, and I said yes. It was close to my hometown, Uvalde, so I came over here. And ever since then, I started to not only get involved with a CCD program there, but I decided to go and knock on the doors and visit the people. When I started to do this, I just came back home and I told my sisters, in tears, you won't believe what I've been seeing. I opened refrigerators and I opened, just to see, and they show me, and there's nothing in the refrigerator. You go in there and some families they sleep on the floor. And I was just shocked. I said, this is the United States of America, and I didn't know that this poverty was going on here, right behind our backyard. We've been ministering in Batesville, but we did some home visits. A lot of times the people would come out and visit with us outside the yard. And it's not until now that they're letting us go in, and we're starting to see with our own eyes, the poverty that is there.
Right, and it's one thing I know that you had told me about it, and I know Sister Angeles, who again is sitting next to you, Sister Angeles used to teach me a long time ago, and so we've been very connected with the Teresians, and you can hear it, you can hear about it, and it moves your heart, but when you see it, like I've seen it the last few days, it's just not something, it's just even hard to put into words. Sister Angeles, what's been your experience with it?
Well, the same thing struck me. A lot of poverty, very extreme situations that we didn't know what to do about, and we would just And then a lot of people who were hungry for, not only for bread, which is the first thing that we had to do something about, they were hungry for God and for knowing more about their faith and for renewing their faith. And for some of them couldn't care less, but many of them those are the ones that I am involved with now, with the adults. There is a little group of adults there, small group, but they're very receptive. They always want to know more about their faith, and they come to any little class, any little thing that you can do for them in Spanish, because that's another thing. Thank God, one of our gifts is to be bilingual, and with the bilingualism, we can really reach a lot of people that we wouldn't be able to otherwise. So one of the things I do now is to teach an adult group their faith, to make them deepen into what just giving it out to them and finding out their needs and what this one needs, and this one doesn't have a jacket and the other one doesn't have a mattress, and this house burned down and we need to do something about it, and we spend a lot of our time doing that.
Right. And like I think you shared with me that if there are people that are hungry or they're cold in the winter, or they're extremely hot in their that they call their homes in the summer, it's sort of hard to speak with them about faith and God when their physical needs are so many. So, that's what I've seen, what I've come away with. And in a different but very similar way, Sister Hortensia had a vision and has modeled, or the place that she now has started is just amazing in terms of a center. If you could tell us a little bit about that.
It occurred to me through a study that we did in the reality of Uvalde that maybe one of the things was to help the parents to help with the education of their children. And then we started doing home-based tutoring. And of course for that we needed a whole lot of tutors. So then the challenge was to find volunteers that would be willing to be trained and placed as tutors in the home. And then going into the home, we discovered as well that there were many other needs besides helping the children to learn English and helping the parents to help the children. So then the tutoring service that we had provided for a number of years became also a counseling, service. And then besides the counseling service, we are now finding ourselves doing anger management because there is a whole lot of violence in the homes. And so the project that was started as a literacy project is not anymore a literacy project. It is definitely literacy and education, but it's education of the children and the parents in a very special way, helping them as well, spiritually, to cope with their situations. So we say that we are empowering families through education, through counseling, and spiritual development. And now we're involved also with helping them materially. We are bringing in the food bank from San Antonio, and we have been giving bread that HEB gives us every week, and the lines keep on growing. So we know that there is a great need for all of those services. And what we need is more people to work with all of these different facets, and we're very happy we are reaching a number of families, but by no means all of those that we think need our help.
Right. So it's, beautiful to think of it all together, because what you're doing is teaching parents who may not have many parenting skills how to be a parent, helping the children make sure they know their English, and one-on-one tutoring with their schoolwork, because the way out of poverty, of course, is an education. Mm-hmm. And so teaching them to do well in school and to value that and to succeed so that they can make their way out of that, while at the same time everyone is working to, look into their homes and meet their physical needs, and at the same time building their faith. And, all of this it's totally, of course, donation-based. I visited the center, and it's just amazing what you've done. And the benefactors with, a warehouse that was donated to you, and just, it's becoming a beautiful facility, and but depends solely on volunteers. And so certainly if you had more funds that you could hire people, and do a lot more, and in the sense of, what you're doing, Sister Dolores, and visiting the families, the more donations that you have in terms of meeting the needs of fixing their homes, and not only clothes and toys, but money to actually put into these homes to give them better places to live, to have their families, and then of course their spiritual formation all right along with it, and that's it's just a beautiful thing to see, and I would love for you to tell us a little bit about the trips that we've made recently, like a visit to the family, which you'll see a video of later, that was just a home that is totally unfinished, and what we ran out to Walmart to do. That really touched me.
The bite of the bases?
Before the bases.
Before the bases, Susanna?
Yes.
Oh, Susanna, okay. You're going to see a video of this, like Wanda said. Susanna's a single mother and with 4 children, and we met her in Batesville, and at that time, a couple from Avita Springs and Sister Marina came by, and they helped her fix her house. We installed a restroom, we painted it, and all this. Because of rent and because of circumstances, she had to move out. Her son, the oldest son, was already a juvenile delinquent, and she was very, very worried about him, and said the only way that I can get him away from the gangs of Batesville. And one of the things about Batesville, it's so close to the border that it is a hub for trafficking drugs. There's a lot of drug trafficking in Batesville, and this mother knew it, and she said the only way that I can do it is move to Uvalde. My son can get involved in sports, he likes sports, and then my children there can have a good education too. So she moved to Uvalde, and she, at the very beginning, struggled finding a job. Now she found this house, and she tells us in the video it's for $35,000. But when we went to see it, we just saw the structure. It's the outside. The only thing, it's an unfinished home. I couldn't believe it. My eyes just fell, and I was just so happy that Wanda's with us, because when all of the donations come in, this is what we do. We go in, and I just ask, do you know her father's a carpenter? Can your father come and give us an estimate of what it takes to do some insulation, what it takes to do the sheetrock, and a little bit of the labor, and who can do some of this job? And I said maybe John Anthony, he's the oldest son, with some of his friends, can come and do some of the work. Get volunteers to come and put some of those walls up, and together we can help her build. Her dream is to own her house, and the way she speaks to us in the video, I mean, she's so enthusiastic, so hopeful, and I think we need to be able to give her that energy and empower her, like Sister Teresian says.
Right.
Not only with that faith, but empowering her to be that mother that she wants to be for her children.
Right. And I had already told my kids there was probably not going to be any gifts. Probably we're going to have to wait in time. I got caught up with all my bills, that I would get them something. One day I was at work, come to find out, I had so many gifts delivered to my kids, more than they've ever had. They had so much fun. For about a year, they had gifts that were closed. They were open little, but I'm very grateful for it. It's a time that I can never forget, and I'm more sure my kids can never forget that. And I really do appreciate everything.
Right, and she's so thankful, even for a home that the walls are just studs, and there's no air conditioning, and there's bugs can get in everywhere. There's holes all around. It's so thankful for that, because it will be hers, and it just moved me. I couldn't believe it. And then when we noticed the heat, what did you say to her?
Do you want us to run to Walmart and get you a couple of fans, So, and this is what we did at 9 o'clock at night.
Right,
You know,
right.
we ran to Walmart and tried to do something for her.
Got the fans and brought them back, right.
This is what Teresian, this is what we do. We go into homes, we realize it, and it's amazing when it's time for Christmas and the gifts are going out, it's time for Thanksgiving, our house just gets all packed, and here we're trying to match gift with child, gift with child. She also is so grateful for the gifts that came to her one day, and she had already told her children that there wasn't going to be a Christmas. I didn't know that. I just knew that they were going through a very hard time, and we needed to do something for that family.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And then sharing his little Jose, when he was 4 and younger, and he would see us arrive at his house, he would run and tell his mom and dad, Jesus is here. Mom, Jesus is here. He would call us Jesus. And I would look at Sister Angeles and said, Sister Angeles, what a challenge. What a challenge that when they see us, they're seeing Jesus. They're seeing Jesus.
Right.
So, and thank you once again for all that
Absolutely.
you do for us.
So you are just the presence of love to them. And that's what,
Yes,
We are very thankful to all of you who are generous and share your whatever you have with us, because that's the way to go, I think, you know.
Absolutely.
And we all become richer, you know, when we share what we have.
That's right.
So they have a whole lot to give us as well.
Well, and
We receive a whole lot from them.
these children who work hard, and they're just very talented with their music, and it's going to be wonderful for them to know when they play and they perform what's the benefit of what they're doing, and so they will know firsthand. And thank you so much for that. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.